Hello, welcome to another Tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, I'm Francis McCarthy, and it's another redo today. It's a painting called Edge of Summer. It's a 5x7. It was a study for a slightly larger piece. It was 8x10. And I may have done some redo action on this before. I don't know. I remember being pretty happy with this back when I painted it, but you can see it's got room for improvement now. I'm certainly better as a painter now, and that's really one of the main things that's reflected in this redo process I've been sharing with you. It's like I have boxes of these old studies, and I sold a fair amount of studies from back in the day, but back then I was, I paint all the time, so I was doing tons of studies, tons of slightly larger paintings, and just trying to cover a lot of ground. And the thing is like, whether you do a painting that's good or bad, it's the experience of doing the painting that will make you a better painter. There's no other way to get good. You can read every book out there, you'll pick up tips and things, but unless you put those tips into practice in your workflow, it's all for naught. You're just wasting your time. You got to get the brushes out, you got to get the paints out, and you got to do paintings. And if they're good, great, and if they're not so good, well, keep around the ones that are maybe savable, and the ones that are completely abysmal, either paint over the top of them or destroy them, annihilate them. And I do recommend that. Don't just throw them in the trash, because a day will come when you'll go into someone's house and you'll see your crappy painting that someone fished out of the garbage and is enjoying in their home. And for my part, I don't, I am not a vain person, but I am working for art history, and I believe that that's the real arbiter of what is actually good or bad. And by that I mean long term, not this short term crap where people like Jasper Johns are considered great, or a bunch of other modern artists. I won't start going into a tirade about that, because you can dig into the channel and you'll hear plenty of that. We don't need to hear it. So if you love modern art and modern artists, great. There's a few good ones. I've got a few that I'm fans of. But anyway, I digress as usual. Getting back to my point, art history to me is the arbiter of what is actually good. And we don't know much about the mediocre artists of the past because they were just okay. They may have been selling, actually in some cases they might have been selling really well. While they were alive, they might have been selling better than people that were actually far better than them and creating far more interesting work. And that's the old Van Gogh trope, of course. And the thing is with the Van Gogh is that the story is that he was not acknowledged or regarded well in his life at all. But the actual fact of the matter is that his brother was the one keeping all his paintings, and his brother actually passed away I think a year or two after Vincent did, and his brother's wife sold all that stuff, and she sold it for a lot of money. They made money. It was no secret to anybody that Vincent van Gogh was a talented artist. The question was he was a bit of an odd person. He wasn't able to fit in, and he wasn't able to make it happen or make the scene with people in his lifetime. So that's maybe not such a great example, but he is a great example in the sense that he was really, really brilliant and really, really good. And he was faced with looking at people that were not as brilliant or not as good, not as innovative, selling work all around him. And it's frustrating, when you see that sort of thing, but ultimately you just have to hoe your own row. I'm big on that. You got to hoe your own row. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about what you're doing, Make your best attempt to sell your own work if you can, but if you're not doing so great there, at least make an attempt to get better. Make an attempt to produce work that people absolutely cannot say no to. And even if they do, if it's good work, then I think you can rest assured that the cream rises to the top, and at some point you might be gone, but the work will carry on, and it will be in people's homes, and they will admire it and dig it, and so on and so forth. Anyway, we're getting pretty close to the end here. Thanks for joining me today. I got a website, Landscape Painter Co.nz. You see it all around. Go there, check it out. You can follow my blog through there, blah blah blah, etc. Anyway, until I come back again, please take good care and stay out of trouble.